қонақтар дейміз ба?
Неден бастаймыз?
По-английски, пожалуйста.
Біздің бүгінгі қонақтарымызбен ағылшынша өткіземіз. Okay. Today our guests are from Netherlands. That is why our podcast will be in English language. Okay. First of all, you are again warm welcomes to our warm Kazakhstan. Nice to see you here and nice to have you with us in this podcast. I would like to first to introduce to our guests. This is Mr. Oliver. He's the founder and the head of Baker Initiatives Groups. We have already done several projects together, and later on we will do the talk about it in details. And we have Mr. Nico with us. He's a specialist in dairy milk production planning. So we can start it, yeah? Oliver, can we start with you? A few words about you, your experience, the Baker Initiatives.
I'm 65 years old. I'm an economist. I graduated from the Agricultural University in Wageningen in the Netherlands. And I think what makes me different from most of my fellow students is that right after high school, my father asked me to go to Brazil.
Brazil?
I went to Brazil a whole year on my own to work and to live there, to learn the language, to see the world. And that was an enormous experience which shaped the rest of my career. Because when I did economics, I actually chose to do development economics. Really focused on, let's say, non-Western societies. So immediately after graduation, I had a few years in business. I did waste paper business with India, which really helped me again to understand business from negotiation, logistics, letters of credit, financing point of view. And that again, these two things together, they made me where I am now, and that is an economic consultant in agro-processing.
Wow.
That's how I actually started. I lived with my family in Zambia. Our first daughter was born there. Then we moved to Indonesia. My second daughter was born there. Then we moved to Latin America, actually to Central America, to El Salvador. We lived there for another 3 years. And then finally we came back to the Netherlands. And almost immediately after that, I came to Central Asia on a World Bank project for Pakhta, for cotton.
Uzbekistan?
In Uzbekistan.
In Uzbekistan.
In that day, they say, Gelajagi, Uzbekistan, Büyük Devlet.
Gelecek, Uzbekistan büyük devlet.
Yeah, so we always said, why Gelajagi? Hozır.
Hozır. Hozır büyük olmaz.
So that was a big experience, and I explained yesterday we went from cotton to cheese to roses to Tash Flora to make a company for street decoration. We ended up with a big Marvel juice company, and that's where I met Koen de Bie, who was here with us yesterday. And we really did a marvelous job in setting up a juice factory with the brand name Tip Top, and this brand gained 48% market share in a period of 3 years. And I think we
of
did
Uzbekistan
it.
market share.
Yeah. And I think we did it. At the same time, after 10 years of Uzbekistan, I said, okay, now it's enough. I have my shares in the bank. My pension is safe. Uzbekistan is going to grow, and the world is bigger than Central Asia. I did other jobs in between. Then I lost my wife. I remarried my dear Anushik from Armenia. We have another 2 children, so we count to 6 now. And it was also the moment that I said, okay, I should not only be traveling, I should also start teaching. So I started to teach at the university, a tool that I developed that really helped me as an economist to understand the economics of my clients' companies, and that is the tool is called Cigar Box. and it's a simple, concise tool that calculates cost prices of products produced in agro-processing, but you can use it in other areas as well. And this cigar box, I believe it is something that should be taught to everybody. In my own economic education, I was not taught how to calculate costs in the right way. And if you don't have your costs right, you can easily make wrong business decisions. You think you're on the right track, and eventually, if you do the Pareto analysis, we discussed this, you find out that there are actually a lot of products in your portfolio that are straight loss making. And they're usually covered up by the bookkeeping because they don't know. There's some other products that do very well. And on the average, maybe you're doing well, but you could do much better if you would calculate all your costs by product. So
this is amazing tool. We have also seen it. You have already taught us, and we liked it.
Yeah.
And one day I believe that it will become something very popular. Everybody is gonna use, and
International standard.
yeah.
the
And,
good news is I'm actually developing an app for it.
And for we can say that the author of this who created this cigar box is with us today.
It's true. That is the inventor of the cigar box. That's definitely true. But being an inventor is one thing. It's much nicer if you have followers.
You have to already.
Already, at least.
No, I have over 1,000. I have over 1,000 worldwide, and it's easy because I have the cigar boxes available in Russian, in Spanish, in French, and actually you can add languages as you will go. And now with the new AI tools, it's even easier to do that.
You said that you have a certification program where people can learn.
Yeah.
And how many students you had?
Well, the first ones they were actually from Kyrgyzstan. It was
First one.
Yeah, the first two came from Kyrgyzstan. They certified, and they're actually teaching it in their own, and they use the cigar box in their own right.
Good idea.
Yeah, and then I continued. I have now certified students in the Philippines, in West Africa, in East Africa, and of course my wife. She's also a dedicated cigar box specialist.
You're an unusual person,
So are you. Come on.
You started in Uzbekistan. You started from Kyrgyzstan.
Yeah.
And, different way of thinking.
Well, what you must
out of the box. Yeah.
what you must know, Almas, is the world knows a lot of places. We know China. We know India. The world knows very little about Central Asia. And especially after the collapse of the Soviet Union, countries like Georgia and Armenia were already known better, but Central Asia was like a black box. And that is so unright because there's so much you have in this part of the world. Not only it is vast, but the culture you have, it's with on the, let's say, between East and West, you fulfill a very important part in integrating cultures. Maybe you don't even realize it yourself, but it's really true.
We always say that Kazakh people is integrators.
Well,
integrating. Yes, we are integrators. Yes, this is the main topic part. Yeah,
I very much agree. I very much agree.
It's very nice to hear from you.
Yeah. Okay, but what we are here to talk is to see how the cigar box can help clients. And as I told you, when we did our last large project in Uzbekistan, it was a juice factory. I met Kundbi and we established a company called Liquid Food Initiatives. Initiatives because we want to help people start with their own ideas. And it is maybe more easy to have an idea about a product that you want to sell in a certain market. So you come up with a PMC, a product market combination yourself. To have that idea is one thing, but to actually roll it out until it is a profitable project, that takes a lot more. And what we try to offer, first of all, in Liquid Food Initiatives, in LFI, is the expertise that is very often lacking in many parts of the world. I think in Holland we are, but also in Germany, in France, Western Europe, we are endowed with a lot of knowledge in food processing. Primary processing in dairy sector, but also in bakery sector, we have a lot of knowledge, and we can share it.
How many projects you have accomplished successfully in LFI?
In LFI, we've accomplished about 12 projects in different parts of the world.
Total price of projects?
Total price, I think, must be 25 million or 25, 30, no, even more. The one in Tanzania was 15 million. I don't know. I never talked it, calculated in such a way. But
you're an economist.
Yeah, but I mean, the turnover of all the projects, I would know. Even now, I'm in bakery, and we did 500 projects. So,
shall we introduce
Yeah,
Nico?
yeah.
Nico
Let's
also?
move on.
Yeah,
Nico.
thank you very much, Almas, Doreen, for being here in your podcast and say something about me, myself, and our company. The company name is Van den Heuvel Dairy and Food Equipment. We have a background of 50 years experience in dairy processing mainly, and we have some sideways in juices and other kinds of projects. The typical saying about our company is that we can do projects from A to Z. That's also the reason that I came along with together with bakery initiatives to talk about plans from the early beginnings up to the profitable end, so to say.
Sounds nice.
And that is that's knowledge we have gained through the years, building up. Also experience from many countries as we we go far out in the world. Nowadays we do projects in African countries as well. And we used to do many projects in the east part of Europe, Russia, Armenia. And now Kazakhstan, I must say I visited Kazakhstan before. I think
visited before.
Yeah, in the late 90s. We did a project here.
Any changes?
Any
changes?
Huge. I remember Astana. I came here at that time. It's massively built now compared to then. Yeah.
You have seen only the center of the city, yeah?
Yeah. And at that time, I only came to the center and traveled by train to the steppes to do the project. But I could see the change of the city. Yes. So briefly said, that is how we work, and we always look for the combinations of being effective. Just like we now met Koen de Bie. He's a new person for me to meet as well, but he has a lot of technological knowledge, and to be combined with the technical aspects, we can make success in the project. So that's where we came from. We're not a big company. We're about 12 employees altogether, but we hire a lot of expertise as well. Furthermore,
this is very interesting thing. The Dutch people, they're everywhere. Everywhere in the world, they are doing the projects. Everywhere, and very efficient, very specialized. And when you see, you are expecting that this company is very big, but when you see internal part, it's like 8 to 15 employees and doing the job all around the world.
This is
amazing stuff, yeah. This is amazing.
Yeah, that's typical Dutch, I think. Already in the Middle Age centuries, Dutch people sailed over the world to establish activities, and that has stayed. This
is very
in our blood.
Interesting with Netherlands. Yeah. It also, the numbers says that the Netherlands is the second big exporter of the food. Yeah,
Yeah, well,
food
especially to
products
especially to
Really?
in the
Germany.
world. Yeah,
Yeah.
after US. Yes.
US, yeah.
So only 18 million people.
Yeah.
Half of them is working somewhere doing the projects, and the rest is making so much products
That's true.
and exporting.
And that's through the knowledge that we have built up in the years, because our nation is only very small as a surface.
The land plot was very small. Yeah.
But it's very effective also in
Very
dairy, especially in dairy.
Yeah.
Milk and cows, it's in the blood of the Dutch people, and they do that very well. Yeah.
Can I ask Nico about a little bit personal information, background, your university?
Yes, you
your
can.
family?
I've not been a very highly educated student. I did agricultural school, and right after I started in this company already on a young age, and I gained all the expertises from working background. And actually, to say 5 years ago, I took over this company for myself, so I'm the owner now. And all the expertises I have are learned through the years from experience. And
So a couple of years ago, you bought a company that you were employed?
yeah, that's right. That's how things go in the Netherlands as well. Yeah.
Good story.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
Family
you,
company,
Thank
yeah.
you very much for introducing yourself, gentlemen. And
Maybe there's one thing more we should say. The reason why Nico is here now, because with the previous owners, we built our first cheese factory in Uzbekistan.
oh,
So when we were requested to come and help you with the dairy factory, I immediately thought of calling them for the technical expertise, because we realized a successful project, a profitable project in Uzbekistan before.
where do you get this
Big box.
very big box of money?
Yeah.
It's very easy to become billionaire in Uzbekistan.
Yes. Büyük devlet.
Big devlet. Okay. Now I want to talk about your company and our IPM company relations a little bit. So we have already completed one project and going to the next one. So
I think I should start by saying that we are a consulting company. We are not in production ourselves. We don't take shares in client companies, although it is requested quite frequently. Can you not become a shareholder? Can you not manage our company? No, we don't do that. We are consultants, and we have a system of 5 Ps. You can see it on the website also. P1, P2, P3, P4, P5. And we believe that all these 5 Ps and knowledge about these 5 Ps have to be used during project implementation and operations. P1 is for planning, for economics, for marketeers, making a good brand. So even if you have a good product, if the brand is wrong, people won't accept it. Making sure that you have a quality at a price point that is affordable for your market. All these things you have to plan in advance and plan them well. That's P1. The P2 is really the product knowledge. If you are in dairy, you need a dairy technologist. If you are in bakery, you need a baker. But if you're in cotton processing, you need somebody who understands Walakno. So all these areas, they have their own P2, so to speak, their own product knowledge. The same counts for P3, which is the engineering part. An engineer, maybe he can make a general drawing, but to make a drawing exactly of a dairy factory with the P, I, and D, that is an expertise that somebody who only does bakeries doesn't have. So even in the field of P3, if you're an engineering company, you should be careful of what type of products you do. You cannot do all the products in all the fields just because you are an engineer. For P4 training, obviously, you need the knowledge in order to be able to transfer it. But even if you're a good baker, it doesn't make you a good teacher.
right.
Very often, if we recruit, especially elderly people from the Netherlands who want to do some training in a company where we work, they are so enthusiastic. And they start to talk about the big things they have achieved in their life. Well, the people we work with, they are still with their feet in the mud, and we show them the stars. Okay, it's very nice to see the stars, but please, can you raise us from, let's say, level 1 to level 2 first? So that is teaching P4, which is also an expertise in itself. And then finally, of course, P5, you cannot have good people only, because as I said in the movie, if Peter leaves, then Abdallah has to be able to take over. That means or Muncho, whoever. So you need
nice example, yeah.
you need good you need good procedures, so that people, even if they fall sick or if they go away, somebody else can take its place. Now, for IPM, there's a very important role in the future of even the development of my own company, Bakery Initiatives. And this is very well demonstrated in a recent tender we are doing in Qatar. You can think that Qatar is very rich, it's true, of course, but it doesn't mean that you can ask any price for your consulting work. They're also not stupid. So when we are in this process, we say, okay, we make an offer with all our hours for engineering and all the other work at the Dutch rates. And now the Dutch rates are just out of crazy. So we actually sought an alliance with IPM. Say, listen, your engineers, they are certainly very good engineers from the technical point of view. Maybe they lack the specific knowledge for the bakery or for the dairy, but we can bring that in. So if you can help us as IPM to bring this engineering experience, then maybe together we can win this tender and do this job in Qatar. And that is something that has a very good future, because the moment that we can gradually transfer the let's say the P2 knowledge into your company, you can gradually become more independent, do more projects at more competitive prices than we can do ourselves from the Netherlands. Still, you will probably use us for a number of years for the top expertise, but even that you can take over. And that would be very nice for us, because then we have a real sustainable Bakery Initiatives, which has two old guys, Jacob and myself, 65 and 70. And we have a young generation that can take over.
Young generation from Kazakhstan, eh?
For sure.
Good partnership.
Yes.
In order to our viewers to be clear, listeners and viewers, because of the YouTube.
Yeah.
Almost, can I ask you, please elaborate on the history of Bakery Initiative Group and IPM collaboration? What were the projects? What was achieved? Of course, now I heard about the plans. Can you please give some history?
The history of IPM.
Yeah. The history of IPM. Huh?
We started which year?
Actually, the IPM company is a young company.
Yes.
Yeah, IPM has started only 1.5 years ago.
It's a short history.
Yes, the short history, but long, big experience. Yes, IPM actually it was in our heads from the beginning, but the time to start IPM just came 1.5 years ago. Before that, we were working on improvement of existing bakeries. Of existing bakeries. So one of the biggest roles in improvement of these bakeries was our consultant. His name was Jacob Molinar. He's the partner of Olivier, the co-owner of Bakery Initiatives, and he helped a lot. Yes, he had a good advices. And,
Can you give some examples?
We were good students. Yeah.
Can you give good examples of what he advised you?
Good examples. His help especially was very good when we were doing the plan of this new factory. He helped us with dispatching units, with the storages, how to make the better process flow, and this really became the good points because we could do such a big mistakes. There are some operations which you do many times in a daytime during the work. That means if you lose $1 per operation, that means every day you're losing a lot of money. And if you count it yearly, it becomes very, very huge. Yeah. So this makes the difference. This makes the company better. And now our bakery, Taptat, is the leader in Astana market, and hopefully will be leader in all Kazakhstan. So that's the plan, yes. And with IPM, we want to grow bigger, and we want to make, as we said, we have the ambitious plan, 100 factories. And now in 2 years, 1.5 years, we see the future. Yeah, it's like it became
more concrete.
Not too hard. Yes. I'm sure that we will reach that target. Maybe not within 10 years, but 11 maybe.
Yeah, I think what makes it possible is that if you apply the method, it is repetitive.
Yeah.
And you become better at it.
Thank you. Of course, as you say, we are not the terminators, and we cannot do all this construction, all of these factories by ourselves. We are hiring such a young people like Dauren, and they are joining us, and we have very interesting projects, and we will delegate most of the work, and we have the principle like before delegation to somebody, first you have to learn yourself. You can delegate what you know, and you keep on going, learning new things.
Well, you had a tough training school in Edinburgh.
Yes. Yes. The tough school, yes. The life is tough school. I had a good school in whole my life. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we have an experience. So the bakery initiatives, they have, as Oliver said, built already 500 bakeries. So when they just come and see your bakery, they know exactly. They see all of your problems, and almost everything what Jacob was talking about was real experienced, and real advices. So we try to get all of them and to implement it in a real life. So without implementation, that's also the
only theory.
Useful knowledge. Yeah.
But there's one thing that I learned as an advisor. I realized later only. I also received a lot of advice in my life.
Yes.
And I followed the advice. And I think it's much easier to give advice if you are used to accepting advice.
Wow.
Good point.
Good point.
And you will see when somebody is resistant to your advice. We've come across people who are quite very stubborn in their heads. You say it should be like, even Jacob sometimes, we have a client now in Bosnia, I cannot give names. It's an impossible client. Jacob knows exactly what has to be done, and he told it in so many different ways.
Yeah. He's very, very experienced in
But still, there are certain clients that are almost impossible to convince. You actually wish them to hand over to their sons or their daughters, to the future generation, because daddy is standing in the way.
Oh.
Have you come across that?
Yes, of course. Even in China, we have met some companies. there's like old man managing this factory, and he's managing it in a old way, old style. He needs to change, but he's not making changes. Yes, he cannot. And we've met the second company, the young guy who worked for this company for 10 years. He started his own company and he's very successful. He said, when I was working there, I give a lot of advices to them. We can do this, we can do this, let's do this, let's do this. They never accepted and do it. And I said, I quit, start my own, and make all this correct stuff. And he became more successful.
Now, what would you do if you're IPM you come across such an owner?
Oh, like Steve Jobs, yeah? We will take out. Yeah, because IPM is the big project. We have to make sure that IPM will be successful. IPM needs to be successful. And we are lucky that we have very strong team with a good background, with engineering and international experience. I think we have all the tools to be successful.
What are your weaknesses?
Yeah? We need to have good connections. Yes, no.
But that's your strength.
Yeah.
I talk about your weaknesses.
I think what I noticed since joining IPM team, the weakness is IPM loves too much details sometimes. Our team members sometimes do not accept not detailed things in the project. They ask more details in order to make decisions.
Lauren, I'm very glad with what you said, because I noticed the same thing, not only in IPM. It is very typical for a P3 person, an engineer. An engineer.
Because our team consists of many engineers.
Only
engineers.
No, the details matter.
But
at the right moment. Thank you, sir. You have a new general manager here.
Yeah. How is our new generation?
No, Dar is 100% right.
Thank you.
Don't lose yourself in details if the big picture is not clear.
Okay. So,
IPM.
We have already completed one project, and now we go. Let's talk about our Almaty project. We have IPM has the project of constructing the big bakery for Kolpanay company at Almaty, and we have 15 years experience for bakery, but we wanted this factory to become very efficient, very good, and to make it better. That's why we agreed with bakery initiatives that they will do the main process, the general layout and the internal processes of the factory.
Yeah.
And we already got it, and we liked it. The processes are okay. So,
if I got it right, this was P2. Am I right?
No.
What was for Almaty?
No, for Almaty, the P1 was clear. They knew which products to make and why to make. They already have so many shops.
Because it's running business.
It's running business. So the P1 stage in this case was clear. They need to expand, and they knew the quantities to make. But the next one was the P2. The P2 actually is an exact description of what you want to make. Not just to say, I want to make cakes. No. Which cake? Which size of cake? Which height of the cake? Should they be round? Should it be oval? All these details, and that's really details, at P2 stage have to be clearly defined for us to be able to understand what to make in terms of P3. And what we did when Peter and Jacob came in December last year, their job was finish the P2 sheet, understand exactly what has to be made, and then start engineering. And when we finally finished the P2 sheet, when we were back in January, we actually realized that what we originally intended in terms of space and was not enough. That we had to make an adjustment to the thought of concept and then go to the detailed engineering. And that's what happened. And if we would have not made that correction and started just on the, let's say, on the basis of the information we had before and just accepted as true, you would now not have such a nice layout because it would not have fitted your product market combination portfolio.
Yes, after constructing this, it might be full already within 2 years.
And what you are very good at is now, once you have you could call it the technical layout. You know, we don't have to tell you where to put the staff rooms and the offices and, you know, the other rooms, utilities that you can do with the experience you have yourself. And the same we are now doing in the dairy factory. You rely on us, thank you, which I think is very wise to do so, to make the technical layout, the process flows, the routing, which type of equipment should be, where it should be placed. Now, if eventually you want to make the cheese in this room or in that room or another expansion here, that you can do yourself. So that is the good combination, because if we would have to do all the detailed engineering ourselves as well, the cost would explode. Simple.
Yes.
Because it's a lot of hours. And it's engineering, is consulting, is hours multiplied by the hourly rate.
So IPM is already working with you and giving the service to Kolpunay Bakery. We are ready for Qatar.
We are ready for Qatar.
See you in Qatar.
See you in Qatar,
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about our new project, the dairy project. Yeah. So how is it? What do you think? Will it be good? What do you think about this project?
We are brainstorming hardly on it.
Yes.
Yeah, but I should start by saying that it's coincidence and unique that our two clients at the moment in Pakistan and in Kazakhstan, they both have existing bakeries that need expansion and that use a lot of dairy products in their final product. And both companies already have a small dairy setup and they want to expand it. So a combination of a bakery and a dairy is also something new for us. It's new for us. Not in the sense that the products are new, but a bakery company that also wants to do its own dairy, that's new. And now that they have two clients at the same time willing to do the same thing, that makes it additionally interesting. Unfortunately, before Bakery Initiatives, before BI, we had LFI, Liquid Food Initiatives, so it was easy for me to pick up this job and talk to Erik Jan and say, listen, Erik Jan, Bakery Initiatives can do this as well. We call ourselves LFI. We still have the brand name LFI on the shelves, so we can put that label. It's all to be activated in moments. And that's why we are here with Nico to prepare you for a good plan. And we do it in the same way as Kulpinai. We do the technical part and you do the engineering, the detailed engineering around it.
Okay.
So Nico, after 2 days of visiting our market, brainstorming on our future dairy, what was your main points and conclusions on the future project?
Yeah, it was very interesting 2 days, I must say, very intense, because actually we have been operating in P1, P2 and P3 to find the right directions. And I must say that, for me, I only had information from Oliver what the interest was. It became much more clear now, the relation between the bakery and the dairy. I can understand that relation because it's the warranty for your products to have the cream and the cream cheese. So I think it's a very good starting point to start this project together. The way we discuss it now is a good cooperation, I think, that we are able to feed IPM with the information needed to work on this project, and evenly for the future to gain a lot of knowledge on building the future dairy plants, maybe, because that will be very useful for you. So I think we have to take it from here, make the base layout for this factory, share it all together. Everyone has to give in his knowledge and opinion and advices. And I believe together we can make this very successful engineering for this project.
The argument that you gave us that the dairy factory should be ready by the end of this year is very logical. If the cows start producing milk, you cannot store the milk, so you have to process it right from the beginning.
Yes.
And definitely you should not let this milk go to another processor.
Yesterday, one of the points before starting our discussion, Mr. Kuhn said that before anything, we should start from the market.
Yeah.
So you have searched the market, looked at it, and as an economist, what's your opinion about?
The interesting thing of course of milk is that you can separate it. So the main purpose of the whole factory is to produce cream and cream cheese for your own bakery. But if you have that, you have, let's say, milk without fat as a remaining product, so you have to find a market for it. So when we went to this supermarket, it became very clear, and the solution was also quite simple, that you can go into yogurt type of products, in sour products, fermented products. And from a technology point of view, I think Koen, right from the beginning, said, listen, if there's not enough fat, no problem, we just buy butter oil. We buy skim milk. And with these two ingredients on the side, we can make anything the market requires.
Good.
So, I think it's time to finish our
To make conclusions.
podcast, to make conclusions, to say Amin. You know it, yeah? We have the eldest guy who is called Aksakal.
Aksakal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has some wishes to IPM and says Amin.
Okay.
To dairy project.
Yeah. Well, let's hope that IPM finds the strength to overcome its weaknesses and become stronger and stronger every year. And I'm quite sure that you will be successful.
Thank you.
Amen. So, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Dear guests.
You're welcome.
Dear our viewers and listeners. Today, I think it was an exceptional podcast with our exceptional guests. As you have heard, our dear viewers, we are doing some great projects which are going to be interesting and for the coming years.
For the future of Kazakhstan.
Yeah, for the future of Kazakhstan. I hope Bakery Initiatives Group, LFI Group, and IPM will have a good cooperation in the future. So we also wish you big future.
Thank you very much.
So hope next time you visit Astana, we will make a second episode of our podcast.
Yeah. Have a safe trip.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
It was nice.